The Baltimore Orioles situation just got a lot worse. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented to you by Betway. I'm Adam Peddle, joined alongside by Nicholas Playalog. We just made a podcast more than a week ago, maybe a little bit more than a week ago, about how the Baltimore Orioles situation was pretty bad. The pitching staff was injured, and things were looking pretty dark. Things are getting even worse. The pitching staff performance is starting to blow up in their faces. They're not getting the offense they need, and they are falling quickly down the AL East standings. We're going to break down how they're doing it, who's doing this bad, and is there any hope for this Orioles team. Before we get into it, though, hit that like button and subscribe to Bad for Baseball. Man, as a Toronto Blue Jay fan, I kind of wanted this to happen, and in the offseason I was kind of predicting that there would be some sort of regression because of how bad the pitching staff was. Little did we know the staff would be completely injured, and all the guys they did have would be absolutely bad.
I don't wish this on my worst enemy, man. Like, this is look, I'm no Baltimore Orioles stan here or anything, but like, this is really bad. Flashing over to some of the numbers right here, folks, like, it is just truly abysmal. Looking at the offense, this is supposed to be the strength of this Baltimore Orioles team, right? I mean, you're talking about a lineup that's got Adley and Gunnar and Mullins, and, Jackson Holliday's supposed to be that guy, everything like that. And so far, they are off to a relatively cold start, 22 in average, 24th in on base, 20th in OPS. Now, they are 8th in home runs, which is allowing them to score the 18th most runs in all of baseball. But again, 18th most runs in all of baseball really isn't all that. Looking over at the guys that are doing it right now, Cedric Mullins is actually like having a bit of a resurgence, so that is really good. I believe he leads the team in WAR for those Baltimore Orioles. Ryan O'Hearn looking pretty good, but majority of your other players right there, Mountcastle, Rutschman, O'Neill, one of your offseason acquisitions, Jordan Westberg, like a lot of those guys. Henderson as well, right? Like, these are players that you would be expecting more from right now. They should not be living in the 600 or low 700 OPS range. These are 800 OPS guys. These are guys that can, should be able to hit at will. So the offensive side of things is not doing great, but that's actually not what the big problem is.
The big problem is the pitching staff. But before we transition, I did want to say, eventually they are going to get hot. Eventually it may.
I still believe in the lineup.
You think, Gunnar Henderson's not going to hit for 600 OPS this year. Rutschman, even though he had a bad year last year, he should bounce back. A lot of these guys should bounce back. But even if they do bounce back and are good, is that going to be enough to carry this pitching staff, which really doesn't have any hope? This offense got hope. This pitching staff has got literally little to no hope. Looking at who they have right now slotted in their current rotation, we'll get into all the injuries later, but these are the current guys. You might think, where the hell did their pitching staff go? Charlie Morton is their number one ace right now, slotted in according to Fangraphs, and that actually might be true just based on name value. Dean Kramer is number 2. A guy who they bringing over from the NPB, Tomoyoku Sugano, is 35 years old. He's off to a decent start this year, but he's got a negative WAR right now. The ERA is 3.43. And then Cade Povich as their number 4, who's off to a rocky start with an ERA of 6.38. But then after that, that's it. They don't have a fifth man because of how many bloody injuries they have in that rotation.
Yeah, man. And I'm actually kind of shocked that Fangraphs has Charlie Morton at just a negative .3 WAR right now. Right. When you go over to Baseball Reference, they got him at negative 1.
Wow.
Which, I'll be honest, I think is a lot closer to reality. The guy's whip is close to 2.5. He's got an ERA over 10. He has started in 5 games. They have lost every single game, and he is 0-5 right now. I know that win-loss record doesn't mean a whole lot, but I can promise you that the losses are coming from Charlie Morton in the games that he has started right now. So this guy is done.
Yeah.
It's like it's over
I
for
mean,
Charlie Morton at this point.
You're really seeing, and I hate to bring this up, you're really seeing a rotation without a rock-solid starter in Corbin Burns, how it affects you. Like, obviously, this isn't Corbin Burns' fault that, like, they have a ton of injuries and they have Charlie Morton underperforming, but, you know, you literally don't have anybody right now to rely on. This was the replacement they got for him, and Father Time has caught up to this guy.
And let me be very clear, all right? The management is certainly at fault here, and I think we're going to touch on that a little bit later in this one. But a big issue here is the injuries. And obviously the management could not have anticipated that this many injuries to the pitching staff was coming. When you go over to their latest injuries, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Trevor Rogers, Cody Poteep, Grayson Rodriguez, Andrew Kittredge, Zach Eflin. These are names. Kyle Bradish, right? Like
Tyler Wells.
Like this is
Keeps going.
This is a whole fucking starting rotation right here. And maybe if you had all of those guys, okay, well, Charlie Morton is now your third or fourth pitcher, and, okay, he's off to this terrible start.
Yeah,
well, now
whatever.
we can start to phase him out, and we can start to bury him down there, and all right, no big deal. But because of all of these injuries, he is getting thrusted up there. Sugano, who has never played in MLB before, is getting thrown into situations that he probably shouldn't be in right now. And obviously, it has their team ERA at just an abysmal spot right now, just horrifically bad.
It's the worst in all of baseball. They're starting pitchers.
Yes, 30th in the starting pitching ERA, and actually their entire team ERA is also the worst in all of baseball. So regardless of the fact that the bullpen's not great right now, but it's not doing enough to save their pitching staff because it is still by far the worst in baseball.
Yeah, and that's by a large margin right there. You got the Colorado Rockies, who should always be up there in ERA because of Coors Field and the fact that their team's ass. But yeah, they're beating them by literally 0.5, it looks like right here. 4.93 is the Rockies, and then it jumps up to Baltimore 5.48.
Am I seeing that proper? Is that final category batting average against?
Yes, it is. They have a 300 batting average against. The Orioles team is turning everybody into Luis Urias.
That is actually fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
300 batting average against on the Baltimore Orioles entire pitching staff. That's bullpen and starters, folks.
I know, and look, you can't win ball games with a rotation like this. And look, on the injury list too, it's not like anybody's coming back anytime soon to save this season. You've got right here Trevor Rogers, maybe potentially May, Cody Petit, TBD, Grayson Rodriguez, TBD. I mean, that could literally be any time, like within this year in the summer. Eflin likely May.
Yeah, you're praying and you're hoping, and then again, it's Bradish. Like somebody like a Zach Eflin, like he would make a big difference.
Yeah,
but he's also an older guy, and it might take him a couple starts to kind of ramp up and get up to game speed, and they just do not have that time right now. They're dropping games early on, and when you're talking about an AL East where, okay, Yankees are looking pretty good, Boston is finding themselves right now. They got off to a slow start in the first 2 weeks, and now it's like, oh, here we are all of a sudden. We knew that they were going to be that squad. I do expect that to continue. Tampa Bay is, kind of, even though they're losing ball games right now, is playing better baseball than Baltimore is just from a run differential standpoint. Like, it feels like Baltimore is already, we're at April, 23rd right now, and this is like the turning point of their season where they could so easily, if a couple things don't go their way, and it's already not going their way, dig themselves into a hole that they're just not going to be able to call themselves out of.
And I think they're going to be pretty entrenched in that hole. And for the Orioles, they need a spark from their offense. They need this offense to save this team. That's the only way. Or they need these guys to figure it out.
Well, let's actually, before we sign off here, let's talk about, any type of light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because obviously this is hell right now. If you're a Baltimore fan, you're probably pissed off at your front office and your management at the fact that you did not go out and get more of kind of reinforcements for losing Corbin Burns, and obviously this is terrible right now. How do they fix it? Can they get out of this? What needs to happen here?
I think you got to have some stability in the rotation. I mean, you got to what sucks is you got to trust these four guys to kind of like stabilize right now, and you're going through a little bit of a gauntlet. I mean, you went through The Blue Jays, who were hot when you faced them. The Guardians, who've been cooking a little bit. They did win that series, but then they got absolutely pounced by the Reds. That offense just lit them the hell up.
They lost 7-0 yesterday.
They lost 7-0 against the Nationals.
That's not good.
They got another game against the Nationals. We'll bring up a little Betway bet coming up a little bit later in the show. But you also got the AL Central leading Tigers, the AL East leading New York Yankees. They're gonna be into a pretty big hole, but at least they have somewhat of an easier schedule coming up for a little couple weeks here in May. You need to have your rotation come back and beat up teams like the Cardinals, like the Chicago White Sox, like the A's, like the Angels. You got to have them come back and do that while you have a hot offense. The offense right now, it's going to be a gauntlet. You got to focus on getting right. And if they don't get right, the season's over. If they do get right, and you could play like 500 baseball until you get some sort of reinforcements and prove that you're still in it, that's how you save your season. But you are going to be in the tank right now. And if they keep on this track, I mean, the season is over.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I think that you need to see a big resurgence from the offense. Like, they got to get back to being top 10 because that is who they are supposed to be.
And they can.
That's the thing. They actually can do that. And then on top of all of that, I mean, Charlie Morton can't be pitching to a 10 ERA. Like your other guys can't have a 6+. Baltimore fans in the chat, is there anyone, any prospect, anything in your minor leagues that like could be some type of spark plug here that you can bring up and try to weather this storm right now? Because like it's gonna be those unexpected performances, those unexpected breakouts that might be able to save you here. But like other than that, fuck. It's not good.
It's a disaster, man. Before we sign off, let's give a quick shout out here to Betway. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code right here on the screen or click the link in the details section to join the action. Must be available. It must be in Ontario only. Must be 18+. Please play responsibly. If you want to bet on this game, the Orioles right now are the favorites against Trevor Williams because they got Sugano, like their one okay pitcher. Yo, based on the way they've been playing, I might sprinkle some money on the Nationals money line.
Just won 7-0.
They won 7.
The game before that, they lost 24-2.
Yep, and the money line is 2.2 times your money. So if you want to go bet on that, go check out Betway, everybody.
Wow, yeah, it is tough sledding right now in Baltimore. But folks, please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Can Baltimore save their season, or are they cooked? We will catch you in the next one.
Cheers.